It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I cannot even explain this.
And it's long. Like, I'm not sure I need that.
I need to see the uncut version. So now for our premiere review.
Rebel Moon
Part 2. Charlie Hunnam is not in it, so why does he get billing? Wow.
At what point are they going to stop giving Zack Snyder the ability to write something?
Or be the director of photography. Okay, here's kind of a funny story. So this is the sequel to Rebel Moon Part 1, and it's 14% on the critic side and 51% on the audience side. Not shocking. So we asked someone that we knew who kind of likes every single movie they've ever seen, and they're like, yeah, I liked it. And I was like, okay, what did you like about it? But he couldn't really tell me. He was like, it had spaceships. I was like, okay. But what's really funny is that Zack Snyder is the director of photography, which means he sets up all the cameras and everything like that. So he goes, I explained to him how Zack Snyder was the director of photography, and Zack Snyder doesn't know how to focus a camera properly. And he goes, I thought there was something wrong with my TV for the first 20 minutes of the show. He's like, yeah, it seemed like there was something weird. He's like, I thought it was buffering or something. And I was like, no, that's how bad Zack Snyder, in this movie, yes. I was like, that's how bad Zack Snyder is at being the DP. So it all started with Army of the Dead, where he was allowed to film it himself, and he does not understand how to properly use focus on a camera. It's crazy how bad he is at this stuff. This movie is laughably bad. Let me tell you about a couple of unique features to this movie. So the story is about, it's basically a ripoff of Star Wars. It was supposed to be a Star Wars film. And here's the description. The rebel warriors gear up for battle against the ruthless forces of the mother world. As unbreakable bonds are forged, heroes emerge and legends are made, right? It's basically it's like the Seven Samurai redone numerous times.
Stupid.
And hey girl, see you later. Thank you for checking us, for hanging out with us. Enjoy your birthday. Have a great, amazing, wonderful
21
birthday.
shots.
Don't do 21 shots.
21 shots.
Have like a couple shots.
Pour
one out for the homies.
Shots.
And that means us. Have a Jaeger shot.
Double fist Jaeger shots for us.
Yes. Enjoy yourself. But don't be responsible. Make good decisions.
Butt chug.
No, don't do that.
21 butt chugs.
No, 21 butt chugs. So anyway, they have the setup in the first one where they assemble the heroes, and now the heroes have to make a game plan. But they really need wheat as a bargaining chip, right? So they have to harvest it. There is, and I'm not even kidding, a 10-minute montage of farming in slow motion.
Together?
10 straight minutes of a farming montage. It is ridiculous.
That's too much.
If you ever wanted to see a sweaty, it's a little ridiculous. Watching Damon Hansu get sweaty in the fields made me feel real uncomfortable for a while. I'm like, what am I watching here?
Is he whipping him?
It's a little unclear, but it's real uncomfortable. Watching him sweat and toil in the fields. Slave trade. It's a little obnoxious.
Yes, master, I need that cotton space.
So they get all of this wheat, and then they decide, oh my gosh, we didn't develop any of these characters. So I am not kidding.
Is one of them gay?
They sit around a table and they go, tell me your origin story.
Do they really?
And they have 5 flashbacks, back to back to back to back to back flashbacks of everybody's origin story. He's not allowed to
write a movie anymore.
He's not allowed to write a movie.
He can cast and then direct.
There's one more great scene that I have to describe to you. So for us to get where we are, for us to get the Scar Giver sequence, literally...
Who is the Scar Giver? Is it a person?
Yes, it's the main girl, Butella, whatever her name is.
The non-hot
Sophia
girl.
Butella.
The not hot girl.
Yes. So So the main villain, a little bit of a spoiler here.
Wait, she's the villain?
No. The main villain, who is Ed
Nazi
Screen.
guy.
Ed Screen.
Yeah.
Comes back to life, and he goes, "Look, I got this scar. I'm going to call her the Scar Giver because she gave me the scar. And I'm going to explain to everybody why I got this scar. But I'll get it fixed after I kill her for giving me the scar." That is the dialogue, they said. But let me explain a scene to you. There is a scene, because they give Sofia Boutella, they give her back, the Scar Giver's backstory, right? And so the Emperor is meeting some people for some reason. He has to bless a ship for some dumb reason, right? And he meets up with all of his senators, and it's basically a lift of Julius Caesar and Brutus, et tu, Brutus.
Yeah.
So all these senators are going to kill him. They have a string quartet of people like playing violins when they enter the room, and they all have bags on their heads. These people all start playing music that matches the scene. They can't see what's going on, but as the assassination goes on, they're playing like all this crazy music. It's so ridiculous. It's out of control. It's ludicrous. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I cannot even explain this.
And it's long. Like, I'm not sure I need that.
I need to see the uncut versions. There's one more thing I have to describe to you in this movie that was absolutely out of control. Critic consensus: a less a course correction than a compounding of everything that tangled up its predecessor. The Scar Giver is uninvolving space opera full of flat notes. Yes.
Install Investor really wants us to look up Kung Fu Hustle.
I've seen it. It's a great movie. What more? Isn't that with Jackie Chan? It's a great movie.
No,
I've
hold on.
seen
Kung Fu Hustle, is it?
Audience consensus: Rebel Moon Part 2. The Scar Giver is just as visually stylish as other Zack Snyder epics, which helps make up for a flat story and thinly written characters.
Stephen Chow?
Stephen Kung Fu Hustle. I know I've seen it. It's old, but it's good.
Stephen Chow. What about Kung Fu Panda?
That's the one he prefers. Kung Fu.
It was released
Panda.
in 2005.
2005 Kung Fu. Is that the remake?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably going to yell at you for watching the remake. Anyway, there's a scene where they give everybody these like little flat. They're like, "Oh my God, we didn't give any of these characters personalities at all." So no one knows what any of them are. They literally have no personalities. So this girl like knit these little flags for them, and she's giving them flags to represent who you are. They're like, "You are the storm because your heart is violent and storm-like, but you also protect us." Something stupid, right? So everybody's got a flag. All the main characters. Except there's a dude who's from the village that they never introduce, and they never give you his name. And he's sitting there while they're all eating and drinking, and he has a flag over his shoulder that has wheat on it. Well, he has a critical part later in the movie, but I don't know his name. He may have introduced himself one time, and he does nothing in the movie, but he's sitting there because he's got his own custom flag. All the heroes from Outworld all have custom flags. But this guy also has a custom flag. He is Wheatman. And then Wheatman has his own scene where he fights main characters, and then they never explain who he is or what he does or why. Because Zack Snyder cannot write anything. He's incapable of writing anything coherent.
He didn't even do a good job casting in this one.
I mean, a lot of people like that Sofia Boutella chick, but what else has she been in?
I mean, I don't dislike her, but
Djimon Hounsou is great.
I do like him.
Ed Screen's great. Corey Stoll's fine. I like him.
All right, yeah, fair enough. They're mainly good.
Yeah, there's even like the jacked Indian guy who came from like jolly old England of India is fun. He doesn't do anything. Sofia Boutella, like she looks all right there. What's she from?
She was in Kingsman.
She was in Star Trek Beyond. Really?
She was in the Mummy remake.
Atomic Blonde. She was in the Mummy remake. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And they all talk about how much they loved making this movie. They all think it was amazing. But the movie we saw was not amazing. It was absolute garbage. She's a French Algerian dancer, which means she was a stripper.
Yep. She's got the body for it.
Does she, though? I don't know that we see her body.
She shows it off before.
There is a sex scene that they clearly edited out. And Zack Snyder's like, there's like sex and gore and violence. There's the other annoying thing about it. It is very PG-13, and they do a very, very strong job of making PG-13. I have one more gripe, and then we can end this. There's a part where she's breaking onto the main ship. Like, each one of these generals has like one ship, and they could do whatever they want with this one ship. There are men in the ship who are like loading coal into a furnace. So you're telling me that a space traveling ship that travels through vajayjay holes in the universe needs to have people stoking the furnace with coal? Like, what the hell was that?
Makes sense to me.
And there was a quote. Somebody asked Zack Snyder about it, and they're like, yeah, can you explain how the ships work and how they go through space? And he's like, yeah, I don't know how they go through space. He's like, they just do. I was like, oh, okay. So you just don't care.
Exactly. How does Star Wars do it? They just do it.
They just do it. Doesn't matter.
Space grenades.
He's just such an... And that's why I did my apology video. I would like to apologize for anyone that I offended by making them think that Zack Snyder was intelligent or had anything like of value.
He's a good visual director.
He needs someone else to be a director of photography. Basically, he just needs to direct. And they're like, ooh, pretty things on screen. He can make that. But if he films it himself and picks the cameras, and if he writes it, it's trash. This guy is an absolute idiot. Waste of everyone's time.
Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan combined would be a really good director.
Well, what does Chris Nolan get wrong?
He doesn't, but I feel like he could help him on the visual stuff.
Chris Nolan's a little weird. There's some things I don't like about him, like how he switches between like aspects whenever he feels like it.
He doesn't
his
really
audio
care about.
stuff. Yeah, that's a little weird.
He's always got audio and aspect ratio stuff where he's just like, whatever, I'll do what I want.
Yes, Spaceballs 100% pays more attention than this. It's ridiculous. Like Spaceballs Internal Logic is better than Rebel Moon.
Good balls in space.
And Rebel Moon is supposed to be serious, and it's just terrible. But if you want a good laugh, watch it. If you want your time wasted, then don't watch it. So that's my review.